Now, last week, the New South Wales Greens returned a $7,000 donation from Fred Wallard because he runs an investment fund that has significant holdings in fossil fuels. A Greens party spokesperson said their donation was received, it violated their policy about taking donations from the fossil fuel industry, and so it was then refunded. Now, that's nutty, sure, by normal standards, because fossil fuels have underpinned modern civilisation and prosperity. But it's consistent behaviour by the Greens. It's putting their money where their mouth is. Yet, on the other hand, the federal Greens are refusing to return more than $75,000 in donations over 20 years from two wealthy investors, namely the same Fred Wallard and his wife Therese Cochrane, through their company Keep Them Honest. I kid you not. A company, Keep Them Honest, established specifically to make political donations. Large tranches of their fund's investments are tied up in companies like Horizon Oil and Diamond Offshore Drilling.
So we know every time we're exploring for oil or gas, there will be a market for our product.
We have one of the world's most advanced technological drilling packages afloat, and we can go to places that other rigs cannot go.
It's a Greens horror story, isn't it? We're talking mega CO2 emissions right there. And remember, the Greens are demanding an end to the coal and gas industries in Australia, irrespective of how that would destroy our economy. Yet these same hypocrites accept the filthy lucre from those who profit from oil and gas. This hypocrisy is so hot, it could power a nuclear submarine. The party has told the Sydney Morning Herald that it'll keep the donations because they are consistent with federal donation laws and because the donors also invest in renewables and support the Greens. Well, yeah, the donations are consistent with the laws, as are coal and gas projects, of course. The question is, are they consistent with the demands the Greens make on everyone else when it comes to fossil fuel interests and donations?
There's a real perception, and frankly, I think it's a reality, that you get what you pay for. And that's why these big fossil fuel companies should not be allowed to buy the policy outcomes that suit their profits.
I'm sorry, we've had Prime Minister after Prime Minister after Prime Minister in this country fail to take seriously the climate threat that faces the planet. And why? Because they keep taking donations from the fossil fuel industry.
It's institutionalised bribery. Corporate political donations should not be allowed, and they certainly should not be allowed from companies whose business model is predicated on destroying nature and cooking our planet.
They're making donations to the government, they're sponsoring the pavilions that we have at these conferences, and they're getting to write the policies. And so Australia is now a handbrake on world action.
As they say, if these people didn't have double standards, they wouldn't have any standards at all. And it's not just the Greens, of course. Check out their Green left colleagues in another hue, the Teals.
Sticking with politics, an independent MP, Zali Steggall, has come under fire for failing to declare a $100,000 donation from coal investor John Kinghorn's family trust.
Teal MP Kylie Tink has revealed that she owns shares in two fossil fuel companies.
There you go. But back with the Greens. Their leader, Adam Bandt, sees no problem taking $75,000 in donations funded partly by fossil fuels. And yet, as The Australian reported earlier this year, he's been pushing forcefully to ban two fossil fuel companies, Woodside Energy and Shell, from continuing as sponsors of the parliamentary Midwinter Ball. That's the same Midwinter Ball that raised $350,000 for various charities last year, thanks in no small part, of course, to Woodside Energy and Shell. But BAM wants to ban their support. I guess the money they raise at the ball is only benefiting charities. It'd suddenly be more acceptable if it was going into Greens' coffers.